As my first action of the game, I will do play a bird, I'm going to play a rat, a fish, and one other. So some of these cards have got a multiple. Shall I show you on that one? It's got a little colour wheel there, which will be any resource. So I'll chuck those into there. Play it into, so it's a water type, so it goes into the first slot there. Now, the ones without a brown border have got a when played ability. It's just white. This one allows me to draw 2 new bonus cards and keep 1. Boom. So I can start. Get it early because then I can. So this is really good. Birds that eat. So I've got the colour wheel one. Yeah, anything. Which is this one. So and birds with that. So actually, I've started on both.
So can you keep them cards now and work towards them as well, or do you only keep one?
No, I keep one of these and discard the other. Okay, so I'm going to keep the one that can eat any. So it's only 10% compared to 31%, but if I manage to get the majority of the 10% of the cards, it's 2 points per bird. Whereas that caps at 7 points, so I might get more points out of that one.
Yep.
Who knows? Alright, okay, so that's my one turn.
Annoyingly, I don't... what do I want to place? What I'm going to place is I'm going to pay a worm and a wheat, because that's what's required. And I'm going to do my action of play a bird, which is at the top. And I'm going to pop it there. And when we now do actions, if I now do an action in this area, you will always activate the brown border that connects it to the end. So now on any future turns, if I were to play this action to get the bird from the bird feeder, I would move that along, then get the benefit of that card, and then end my go. So the more birds that we play, the more actions that we're going to get that are going to start chain reacting off of each other. That's me done.
Well, I'm going to play a bird too, surprisingly. And,
Yeah, no.
I am. And it's a little wren, because... little wren. See, this is the problem with this game. I go for birds that I like. I'm like normally I would be fighting for the jaybird, because obviously it's Jay.
Blue jay.
I have played a lovely bush tip.
And I have to sort of... But that one, because it's got over 30 centimetre wingspan, I'm like, no, ignore it, hold back. So I'm going to pay...
There's no comment about my wood stalk, by the way.
I'm going to pay a worm and place that, and this lets me draw 2 bird cards immediately. So please be small winged birds. Fingers crossed.
You could have taken one of those if you
I like taking the risk.
Okay.
And the risk was not worth it. We could have gone for that one. No, they're over 30 anyway.
Oh, you need less than 30?
Less than 30.
Wow.
I need little birds.
Is it less than and equal to?
So you want
equal
small
to,
ones and you want big ones.
Hey!
It's equal to and less.
Everyone's got their preference in birds.
Alright. You're up, Darius.
Oh, I am. Right. So, a little bit of a predicament here.
That's done.
I think I'm going to get myself 2 eggs. Reason being, I want to kind of spend another one of those eggs to get an extra card. So I'm going to lay 2 eggs on there. No, it's never a bad thing laying eggs for the sake of it, because it's 2 points. And that goes on to you, Jess.
So what I'm going to do for my go is I'm going to take the bird from the bird feeder action. So the first one I'm going to take from the bird feeder is a worm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this card, because I have that ability here, to take another one from the bird feeder, and I'm going to take another worm. So that's those 2 done. I'm then going to move over, and it says tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, you get to lay 1 egg on it. Now if I wanted to, I could tuck this under the card, but normally in the game, to make it much easier, we just tuck it underneath our boards till the end of the game, and each tucked card is worth 1 point, the same as eggs are worth 1 point. But because I want this card, I'm not going to do it, and that's my go done.
Yes, it's worth noting that they're optional actions that have to do it.
Yeah.
So am I correct, when you roll the dice, once you've got 2 of the same sort of dice, you can re-roll them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
cool.
they got
If-
the same
well,
face?
if they're the only ones
if
left.
the only ones left, yeah. Obviously, at the moment they're
If
not.
all 5 were rats,
Yeah.
you can re-roll
Yeah.
all of
So if
them.
somebody
Yeah.
took the berries out and left those 2 rats in there, on your go, you can roll them.
Said someone who's going to be taking food right now.
It's worth noting that if you're going to take 2, you cannot, in the same action, you cannot take the berry then re-roll.
Can you? Okay.
No.
So, no, that's not
You would.
worth it.
It would only be until it's a separate action.
Okay.
So,
that's
for
fine.
example, there, if you was to take 1 and discard a card because it's part of the same action, you would have to take either the 2 rats or the berry and a rat. You can't take the berry then re-roll all of them
That's
and then
fine.
take a second one.
The only
Unless it was empty.
Yeah, the only exception to that is if there were only 1 die left in there and your first action was to do it. If you ever empty it, doesn't
Yeah,
matter
you
if it's the
can
same
re-roll,
action,
yeah.
it
Free
will roll.
re-roll.
It's a free re-roll.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the berry then.
You're going to take the berry out?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm not going to waste a card.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Excellent. Exactly.
So, I'm going to do the draw a card. So, I will be drawing the blue jay. Sorry, Jay. That's my first one, and I'm going to discard an egg to draw a second card. Now, it doesn't refill automatically. It doesn't actually refill until the very end of my turn. So, even if other cards let me draw cards, I couldn't refill. So, I'm going to just take one off the top. It's a bit risky, but hey ho. No, it's a good one. I'll go left, but there's no ability on that one, so I'll finish my turn.
Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 2 worms to the bank, and I'm going to play a bird card in this column, and that's me done.
Lovely. A common nighthawk.
A common night
I
hawk.
am going to take food and re-roll all the dice because I really do not want rats.
Okay. Now, sometimes I get a bit lazy, I just roll it back in there, but this is the way you should use it.
I fancy dice now.
I know, right?
So I want to take one of them.
The novelty
worms.
wears off after a while, I must admit.
Yeah. I'd like to take one of them worms, please.
No.
And I'm going to discard, and have another worm.
Another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the novelty that doesn't wear off, and the nice touch that I like to this game, is what you'll notice at the bottom of the card. You'll notice there's a little world, and the little shaded part is actually the part of the world that bird comes from, and it gives you a little bit of information about it at the bottom, which I think is quite sweet. But that's just
All the bird experts by the end of the game.
exactly.
It was actually designed, wasn't it designed by some actual
Yeah.
ornithologist, whatever it
Yeah, a
is.
bird person.
Yeah.
And the back of the rule book, it's got all of the sources of where they get all the information from.
Yeah, see, this is pretty much just North America, isn't it? This one.
A
the
lot
moment,
of them is
yeah.
this is
America and North.
this is mainly North America.
Which suggests some kind of
Yeah.
I'm
expansion.
trying to find a bird
Europe.
that does the entire world, which I think is the next one that's coming up, which is the barn swallow.
Yeah,
Does the
swallows are
entire
very
world.
much anywhere and everywhere.
Anyhow,
So,
sorry, that was
I'm
me.
just studying my birds.
we digress. It's good to have conversation while someone's studying birds.
Did you know, Jay, that you can carry up to 5 acorns and will steal hundreds for winter?
Can
That's what the blue jay does.
I'm really noisy as well. But the British jay is really, really noisy. That is what I'm actually named after.
I was about to say, I wish there was a Jessie J.
Isn't that a singer?
Yeah, because it's my name. That
Can
was
you
so
edit in a
bad.
tumbleweed about this?
I thought it was
Wow.
funny.
It was funny to you.
Who's going with it?
It's Jay's.
No, I had to go. I took food.
Oh,
It was your go.
They're
It was
always-
your
so
go.
it's
for-
waiting for me. Okay. Right. I'm going to do something. Yeah, believe it or not.
You're going to
okay.
take one action.
I'm going to have to... So I don't want to get food right now because I don't want to just get one because all of my birds require 2 food and I feel like I'm going to be taking 2 actions to get the birds. So really, I want to draw some more birds. Now, it's risky drawing loads now, but it does give me more of a choice. I'm going to take this one and I will take one off this side because that one's not doing me any luck whatsoever. Brilliant. I actually got a card that I definitely wanted. So that moves on and that's Jess's turn.
Right, so what I'm going to do on my turn is I'm going to take 2 eggs and I'm going to place both of them there. I'm then going to move that on. When activated, if this bird is to the right of all other birds in its habitat, move it to another habitat. So I'm probably going to move it down here, and then that finishes my turn.
Lovely.
Perfect.
It's a very nice bird.
I am going to play a bird.
How many times are we going to say bird?
Bird. Let's see how many times.
Bird. Bird's the word.
I was waiting for that.
Bird's the word. Sorry, I had to. That was for you, Stefan. You've got to keep it.
Take Stefan in that bit.
Yeah.
For Stefan Nash.
So, I'm going to play another wren because I have got a thing with wrens today. I'm going to play it in the same location.
Is it Kylo or?
This is a Bewick wren.
Oh, not Kylo Ren.
Not Kylo Ren.
Oh.
No, see, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I didn't get the joke.
Oh.
I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah, but I mean, it's taken over by Disney now, and Disney just promote everything Star Wars everywhere now.
I'm not even going to
Just know the
mention
characters.
anything because suing happens with Disney.
Yeah.
So,
Don't mention the D word.
not anything bad.
Disney.
I'm a Trekkie fan.
To be fair, Aladdin was
If
good.
not a
Well done,
prosper.
Disney. You did well on that one. There you go.
What was
They're not
that?
going to sue you now. Aladdin is amazing.
I've not seen it.
So, it's me now, isn't it?
I
The new
I
one.
love the cartoon though, so I don't know. It's like The Lion King. I love the look of The Lion King, but
Oh, that was
if it's not as good as the original, I'm going to be like, what have you done? Because I love, that's my Disney. That's my era of Disney. I remember going to the cinema to see Lion
Let's
King,
go.
Aladdin. I just
Get myself some food.
I was too young.
I'll take that one,
I'm an old fart.
and I'm going to get that, and that's my only food action. Not great, but hey ho. Then it is Jess's goal.
I don't even know what I'm going to do. I best pay attention to what's going on.
So, I'm going to
You there, Jack?
do the draw a card action. And I'm going to try this card. And then I'm going to move across. You know what? I think I'm going to pay an egg, actually. And I'm going to get another one. And I'm going to do a random. There we go.
Nice one.
Next one along. If this bird is to the right of other birds in its habitat, move it. So I'll happily move that up there. When you move a bird that does this, it ignores. You don't have to repay or pay any eggs. It just literally moves if that's part of the action of the bird. Right.
The only trick is keeping it to the right of the other
Yeah,
birds.
because if I were to play a bird there now,
Locks
that's
it in.
trapped. So you've got to be careful with it. Right, that's me done.
Okay, Jay, it's really old.
Yeah. I haven't got food for that. What food is there over there?
That happens a lot in this game.
Need food, but I don't want that food. And I kind of...
Take one of them and then I'll re-roll it for your next go. Because I'm taking
I don't need any of that food. That's the issue.
Remember, any two can go into one that you want.
It's waste. It's
Yeah.
waste of resources.
It seems like a waste,
Sometimes
yeah.
it seems it, but sometimes it's necessary.
Depends if you're
Because you might
making
forever,
loads.
you
of
might
spare,
forever wait
yeah.
for what you want. Yeah.
I think I'm just going to take eggs. I can just take eggs now, can't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to take eggs because
Just laying some eggs.
it's money. It's points.
Now I thought you were going to take food,
I can't.
so I'm not going to do that action, and I'm going to do this instead, which will be
My little birds don't eat fish.
playing a bird. It will cost me an egg, so I will do a bird there. That's fair. And I will place you here by spending a food. And that will go in either, so that's done. Just go.
Right, so I think I'm gonna get some food from the bird feeder. Don't even want what's in there, but somebody's got to take it at some point. So I'm going to take that. When activated, move this bird. So what I'm going to do is move it down here. And then when activated, tuck a bird from your hand behind this bird. If you do, lay one on this bird. So what I'm going to do is tuck this under my board, and that's going to be a point at the end of the game. And because I've done that, I get to lay an egg on the bird, and then that's my go done.
And
Up kept this birdie.
I think I am just going to draw a card. And this is a small bird, so I am going to take
Oh, I like that bird.
a small,
Nice.
lovely bird. Painted bunting.
Okay. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to take this one. Not sure why I didn't take it before, because it doesn't require any food to actually put it in play.
Nice. Oh, is that a...
That's the black vulture.
It's quite
Yeah,
rare. The
vultures,
benefit you
yeah.
get off it was rare. That's why I didn't
Yeah.
go for it.
When another player's...
So some birds, if you pass that over,
Yeah.
some birds have a pink border. So if you have a brown border, that'll be what you activate during your turn. But the pink borders are the ones where you look at other people's goes. So if this is activated only once between turns, so if Darius has got this card, if me or Jay activate the pink section, he then gets the benefit, but he only gets it once, even if we both trigger it.
It's not bad. It's not a bad card.
Yeah. Could be worse.
Yeah, so I believe it's you, Jess.
Oh, it's come back round quite quickly, hasn't it?
It
Right.
does. First round is very quick.
So I am going to
I
do
find it gets quicker and quicker.
the egg action. So I'm
Yeah.
going to get 2 eggs, and I'm going to spend a food to get an extra egg, which is that bottom bit there, and I'm going to place them all on here.
Nice. I wonder why you're doing that.
Move that over. If this bird is to the right, I get to move it. So I'm probably going to move it down here. That's me done.
And I am going to take food. Can you re-roll the dice?
Oh yeah, that
please?
should have had a free re-roll anyway.
I don't even know what I need.
So the die face has
great.
got that slash. It means you can take the worm or the wheat from it. The rule where you re-roll the dice, if it's got the same face, if you only had those 2 die there, because it's got the option of a wheat, you don't get to re-roll it. However, if these 2 were the only 2 that were left, because they are the exact same die face, you do get to re-roll them.
Can I take them 2 dice that can
Yeah.
choose whatever? Because
Taking the choice away from us.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Got to be that little bit mean sometimes.
Okay, and then my last action I will do 2 eggs. I'll put onto here. I want to do this before the end of the round really, just to even get some points. That's that done. I haven't got the resource to do the extra bit. Tuck a card, so when activated, tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do so, also lay a... So I'm going to tuck this card, I'll put it behind my board, but I get to put another egg on there, so that actually gets me 3 points now. That's quite handy. Right.
So for my last action, I am going to play a bird. This one requires a worm, but I'm going to spend 2 of any resource to act as 1 of what I want. So I'm going to act like those 2 berries are a worm, which is what's needed,
Nice
and
one,
I'm going to
looks
place the bird just there, and that's me done.
And
And have birds. You know what? I never win this game, so I'm rooting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take
Well, I had a real bad start.
2 food. I'm gonna take a berry and a worm.
A berry and a worm, yeah.
I will not win this game because I'm on video and I don't win games on video. It has
It's the
been-
same as when I teach them. If I teach a game to people, I mean, Quicks was a good example earlier. If you
Yeah,
teach
you
it, I
can,
never
yeah.
really win it because you're so worried about what they doing. Are they doing it right?
I think there'll be a competition when I win a game. It's going to be like, oh my god, I should have spent that.
I don't win games for it. So what are you talking about?
I had a really good win ratio. Yeah, what Quacks earlier on. What was it? What was your 80 something to our? What was that? Was the next highest was 60.
Don't win them that often. Don't win them that often. All the fucking time. Oh, sorry.
That's right. I reckon the odd bit's not going to get in trouble.
Just bleep.
I could just bleep it if I work out how to do a bleep on them.
All the bleep.
Yeah, I just sit there and whenever it's playing, I just sit there and go beep every now and then. Just,
It's like a little order.
Technically, that should have been refilled, which is a shame because I really would have wanted that.
oh look,
So-
it's another free bird.
At the end of the round, we check to see how many times we've done that. So I've got 3 eggs in a bowl bird, so I get to put my cube on. Now,
I'm just going to put mine there.
The reason we're using these cubes is because on the next round we get one less action. Next round we get another less action, and so on. I believe Jess has done.
Yeah, so I deliberately placed my eggs on this star one, which can act as any nest. So because I've got 5 eggs on acting as if it's a bowl, I'm going to go right up here.
She's got the
Thank
5
you very
because
much.
she never wins games.
Because I never win games.
Honest.
Ever. So at the end of the round, what will happen is we will discard any cut birds that are in the feeder. We in the supply even.
To the bird discard because
I've
got my own pile sitting over here.
Doesn't matter.
We don't re-roll that. Some people think you re-roll the bird food. You actually don't. The first player marker will move on. We'll take all our cubes off the left-hand side, so we should have 7 cubes now rather than the 8. And we get to go again, but Jess gets the.
So